Hey y'all, this is a lot like the previous video that I showed with the triangles, except you are going to be testing your knowledge as we go through this. But before we kind of got started, I wanted to go in and kind of set some things up for y'all. So for example, on number 1, it says the input and output table for a rhombus. Okay, well, let's think back to when we talked about geometry. What is a rhombus? Okay, a rhombus is a quadrilateral. And so we know a quadrilateral, quad means 4. It has 4 sides. Okay. So as you're going through this, okay, I want you to keep in mind, you are absolutely welcome to draw it. Okay, but as you get to these bigger numbers down there, it's hard to draw that many rhombuses. So absolutely do it when you can and do it if that's helpful. But think back to my previous video and know that you can apply the rule. You don't have to draw the pictures. You can apply the rule and it makes it a little easier to solve. So let's start this and let's do this first one together. Okay, so we know a rhombus has 4 sides. Okay. And we know from the previous one we did the triangle, the input is the amount of shapes. We're still following the same rule. So input, this part over here, is the amount of shapes. This is kind of like where our rule goes. It's our drawing. And then our output is going to tell us how many sides we have. So, for example, we already know that one rhombus has 4 sides. Okay, now I want you to think about 2 rhombuses. Okay, and your drawing does not have to be perfect by any means. Remember, a rhombus is kind of like that. Okay, and the most important thing for you to know is the rule. So we know that one rhombus had 4 sides. So 2 rhombuses, well, one rhombus still has 4 sides, right? And all I did was double it. Okay, so one rhombus had 4 sides, right? 2 rhombuses, this 2 right here, the rule is still the same. With our 2 rhombuses, each one still had the 4 sides. So I would do 2 times 4, and 2 times 4 is 8. So there are 8 sides. Okay, again, you can go in and draw these. However, as we get down here to these bigger numbers, it's going to be a lot harder to draw that because that would be a lot of rhombuses. So using the rule can make things a little bit easier. Okay, and our next one. So again, we know our rule was times 4. Okay, so if I had 3 rhombuses and I apply the rule because one rhombus has 4 sides and I have 3 of them, well, 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, and so as we already said, the rule for this is we're taking our R, the number of rhombuses, and each rhombus has 4 sides. Okay, and when I take that R times 4, or the amount of rhombuses, and multiply it by 4, that's going to tell me the S, the amount of sides I have. Okay, I'm going to do this one with you, and then I want you to do the rest. So this, all this, and this one by yourself, okay? So how many sides would 37 rhombuses have? So I know my R, I have 37 rhombuses, and each rhombus has 4 sides, okay? So setting up that area model. 3 times 4 is 12, so 30 times 4 is 120. And then 4 times 7 is 28. So I would just combine those. 120 plus 28 would become 148. Meaning 37 rhombuses would have 148 sides. That's a lot. Okay, and I'm going to do part of number 2 with y'all as well because it kind of looks a little different. So the first thing to pay attention to is this part right here. Okay, input-output table for a hexagon. Okay, well, hexa, what does hexa mean? So a hexagon or a hexa means 6. So 6 sides, which means one hexagon is 6 sides. Okay? So with that, okay, you have to, it's the same thing we were doing for the triangle. It's the same thing we were doing for the rhombus. Okay? We got to figure out that rule. So I know hexagon, a drawing of the hexagon, again, does not have to be perfect. Okay? I know however many hexagons I have, it has 6 sides. And then I'm going to apply that rule to the rest of them. So for example, this one right here, I have 3 hexagons. So 1, 2, again, does not have to be perfect, y'all. 3. Okay, and so now I got to think, okay, how many sides is this? Well, one hexagon has 6 sides, which means this has 6 sides, this has 6 sides, and this has 6 sides. Well, I already knew that there was 3 hexagons. So what I could have done with that 3 hexagons is instead of drawing the 3 hexagons and going through and counting every single side, I know 1 hexagon has 6 sides, 2 hexagons, both would have 6 sides, 3 hexagons, all 3 would have 6 sides. So I could do times 6, and I know 3 times 6 is 18. Okay, so same thing in my 4. If I had 4 hexagons, I don't have a ton of room to draw 4 hexagons, but I know 1 hexagon has 6 sides, so all 4 have to have 6 sides. Okay, and then, so my input was 4. I had 4 hexagons. My rule was this times 6 because 1 hexagon has 6 sides, so that means the second one will also have 6 sides, the third one will have 6 sides, and the fourth one will have 6 sides. Okay, and to get my output down here, I have to apply my rule, so this times 6 to my input. Well, 4 times 6 is 24. All right, we got one more. I'm going to have you do all these parts. I want you to work on those, okay? But let's go ahead and we'll fill in the rule, and then I'm going to show you it on this one right here, and then you're going to do the last one by yourself. So with the rule, we know we took H, however many hexagons it was, and when we did that, we would multiply it by 6 because 1 hexagon has 6 sides. So however many hexagons we have, if we multiply it by 6, it would tell me the total amount of sides. Okay, again, you are welcome to draw it, but when we get to questions like this, 28 hexagons is a lot to draw, okay? So rather than having to draw it all out, we can instead just apply the rule. All right, so following our rule, H was hexagons. Well, I know here I have 28 hexagons, and my rule was that times 6. Okay, so then I'm just going to set it up. 28 times 6. Well, 2 times 6 is 12, so 20 times 6 would be 120. Okay, and then 8 times 6 is 48. Okay, and then I just need to add those together. So 120 plus 48 would become 168, meaning that 28 hexagons have 168 sides. All right, guys, I want y'all to go through and do the rest by yourself. Okay, when you are finished with this, make sure to turn it into your box.